Coming up next on another edition of Friday Night Frag Sessions, I give my thought on the issue of quantity versus quality in your fragrance collection. So let me hear what you guys think. Watch the video, and I hope I get lots of comments. Welcome back, everybody. This is Joel the Nose, and I'm actually having an allergy attack today. Hopefully it's not COVID-19, but actually I know they are allergies. Anyways, tonight, here it is, Friday night, and it is November 13th, Friday the 13th. Crazy day. It's already been a crazy day for me. But anyways, wanted to continue. This would be the second edition of my Friday night frag sessions. And basically just kind of talking about maybe some fragrance topics. And last week I talked a little bit about my channel, how I got into this and the purpose behind my channel, or, kind of the, I guess the, what I'm trying to add and trying to do here on my channel. This week, wanted to get kind of right into a topic which prompted my attention when I was reviewing some designer fragrances yesterday. So some of you, if you watched the video that I posted yesterday, it was basically a video where I was comparing Acqua di Gio Profumo with Dior Sauvage Parfum. And I went into that video, I went to Ulta Beauty store here in Miami, and I went there really with the purpose of trying to determine which I liked better. And I got there and I sprayed it, and I sprayed them on the scent strips, and I took it home. And what I realized when I was there is that I just thought they sucked. I'll be honest with you. Now, it kind of led me into this thought process here of, if you go into the fragrance groups on Facebook that a lot of us belong to, you see that probably the most common thing people post are pictures of their fragrance collections, and it's like, been collecting for 1 year, and they post a picture of their fragrance, and it's like a bookshelf with like 100 fragrances. Or some people like, here I am 2 months into my fragrance journey, and they've already got like 30 fragrances, or sometimes more. I mean, then you'll see people that are literally posting pictures with, easily 500 or more bottles. And I know there's a lot of people out there with even a lot more than that. And my thought process behind this is really kind of as follows. Obviously a lot of people, I think guys in particular, like to collect things, whether it be watches, baseball cards, shoes, fragrances. And I guess I never really quite understood this because I don't think that way. My brain doesn't think that way. Yeah, I collected baseball cards when I was little, but I always collected my purpose was I liked collecting a few players that I really liked and trying to get all their cards. So for example, back in the day I was a big Johnny Bench fan from the Cincinnati Reds. So my goal was, or Pete Rose, my goal was to get all of their cards, not to have tons and thousands and thousands and thousands of cards and collections. And I had a lot of friends who preferred to do it that way. So that is kind of carried over into my thought process with fragrances. I don't have in my personal collection hundreds of bottles. I prefer to add one at a time on a very, very careful level. And as I said before, my channel covers mostly niche fragrances. Yesterday I was reviewing or comparing designer fragrances, and I still have designer fragrances. But by and large, the bulk of my collection is quality over quantity. And I want to know your opinions on this. Is your collection more of a quality or a quantity-based collection? And of course, people will say, well, it's both. I don't think you can have both unless you're extremely loaded. Look, there's people out there, you got money is no object, then you could have both. But the reality is that you kind of pick one or the other, most people. And look, we all had that experience. It's fun. You go to TJ Maxx or Marshall's or one of the discounters and you hunt through and you find something that, this is great. Or you just hunt for super cheapies where you can get them for $5 or $10 or $15. And look, I've done that. And I found some that I liked. But in general, I do think that when you are buying a designer fragrance, a typical designer fragrance, whether it be Acqua di Gio, most Dior's, even Chanel, if you're paying $60, $70 a bottle for 100 mLs, you get what you pay for, okay? You just do. I have now been over a year working on constructing and making my own fragrances. So I buy the actual oils, and I have seen firsthand the difference in the quality. When you buy, for example, a low-priced bergamot oil, which is still, say, an all-natural oil from Italy, versus a higher quality one, that may cost quite a bit more per little ml bottle, and you notice it immediately. And there's no doubt that in these mass-produced designer fragrances, in order to keep the prices that low, okay, they have to be using the cheapest fragrances, or the cheapest raw materials. There's no other way around it. Again, I weighed things out. I calculate per ml how much it costs me, to make one of these things, and there's just no way they can do it, even though they're obviously very big companies that are buying in bulk, and they're obviously getting bigger discounts than, say, someone like me who's just buying small quantities at a time. The math and the economics are still basically the same. So, I want to kind of put that question out there. I guess this is kind of like an editorial video, so I'm going to give my opinion. I think that it's just better to have quality. I think it's better to go out and spend money on, say, 10 good niche fragrances, and let's say it costs you, let's just say on average, $200 a bottle for that niche fragrance. Okay, so you're talking, what, $2,000, I guess, and obviously that's a lot of money still, I know. And let's say you spend that out over a year. Let's say you spend $1,000 a year. So that's what, not less than $100 a month. Again, I understand that's still a lot. For most people, especially in these tough times, that can be difficult. But let's say even cut it down to 5. Okay, what does that mean? That means you get to wear a different bottle, or cut it down to 7. You get to wear a different bottle or a different fragrance every day of the week. But you're wearing high quality, unique fragrances. You're not smelling like everybody else. You're not smelling like every dude walking down the street in the gym, or in the office, which you're going to smell like with Chanel or Dior or any of those, Acqua di Gio or Spice Bomb, or I don't care, any of those name brands. You're going to smell different. And I can tell you, you just get more compliments when you smell different. When a woman smells something that is just an expertly blended fragrance that they haven't really smelled before, and it makes you unique. It's like having, clothes that make you stand out. It's like having style that makes you stand out. I don't know. I just prefer individuality versus conforming to the masses, and that's just my personality. So maybe that's why I feel this way. But again, so just to get back to my hypothetical about, let's just say you spend, again, let's say you have $500 to spend. Okay. You can get for that 3 good niche fragrances, or even, 2 and maybe a smaller bottle of good niche fragrances. Okay. And let's say, okay, you for that you can get $50 a bottle, you can get 10, let's say, cheap fragrances or designer fragrances. It doesn't even compare, because this is the problem I see again with the quantity versus the quality. Think about it. If you've got 300 bottles in your collection, which a lot of you do out there, that means, or let's say even 350, that means you can wear each fragrance one day a year, okay? And even if you cut that down to, say, 150, 170, somewhere in that range, bottles, which is, totally common out there, that means you can basically wear each of your bottles twice a year. Go down even further. Let's say you have Let's say you have 100 bottles, 120 bottles. Let's say. That means you can wear those bottles basically 3 days every year. I mean, what good is that? Because then a lot of those bottles are going to stay there forever. And the reality is, these things don't last forever. This is, yes, they can last for a good 5, 10, 7, 8, 10 years, but they start to change. Bottles continually macerate as they're sitting there. They don't just stop macerating. So if you have a bottle that's been sitting there 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, it's going to smell very different from what you had when you bought it. So these are designed to be used. And plus, you may not be storing them properly. They may not be stored in a cool enough area. They may get warm. They may get hot. I mean, you're subjecting them to atmospheric conditions. to me makes no sense. Okay, no sense in reality to probably have over 50 bottles because you're just not going to wear them. And then what it ends up being is just another crap in your closet or on your dresser or in a bookshelf where you're just storing more crap, whether it be shoes, belts, watches that you don't wear. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to think. I really subscribe to the theory of minimalism, where you just live with what you need and you try to cut down on things. And I haven't always been successful at it, but I try to apply the same principle to fragrances. I try now to, even if I see something at TJ Maxx or wherever, and it's like, oh man, that's only $10. What? I might as well just buy it. It's only $10. It's $10 you're wasting. I mean, it's $10 you could be putting towards an excellent niche fragrance that may cost $150 or $200 that you're just gonna enjoy so much more. So there you have it. That's my Friday night frag session kind of rant on quantity versus quality. Quality all the way, guys, in my opinion, versus quantity. And anyways, want to hear what you guys think. If you agree, disagree, I expect a lot of people probably may disagree with me on this topic. And of course, to each their own. Do what you want. I'm not telling you to. I'm just telling you what I do and what I recommend, what I think. But to each their own. And there you have it. So thank you again for watching on this Friday night. Hope you're doing something more exciting than me, and maybe you're watching this on Saturday because you had something to do tonight. And if you found it useful, please think about subscribing to my channel. And you can always ring the bell also to get notifications when I release new videos. Have a good, safe weekend. Stay safe, everybody out there, and I'll talk to you guys later.